So how do we do it? So as we've seen, there's so many ways of connecting, but I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can bring connecting with your child into your daily life, into your routine, so that things go most smoothly for you. And the first way I'm going to talk about is what I call connect invite. And this is when you want to bring your child to do something. Okay. The classic thing, like brush their teeth. So if, right now it's time to brush your teeth isn't working for you, here's what you can do. You go up to your child and get down to their level and get interested in whatever they're doing. Say they're doing a drawing. Okay, so you start watching them doing their drawing and you take an interest in it and you start seeing what they're trying to achieve, the colors they've been using. It's not about saying, oh, it's a nice drawing or it's a good drawing, but it's about getting interested in what their intention is with the drawing. Or if they're watching something, if they're watching or doing something like, say, Minecraft, what is their intention? Or if they're watching something, what are they finding funny? What are they finding interesting or amusing? And start thinking yourself into that point of view of your child, and then start talking about it, because people like to hear other people being interested in what they're interested in. That connects you. And as you start talking about it, oh, it looks like you've used a really deep red for that sun. It makes me think it might be a setting sun or something. Or it's very intricate, that bit of your Minecraft construction. Is that a cupboard or a cubby hole or a hidey hole? So just start talking to them. And when they look up at you, or when they pause and murmur some kind of response, then you know you're connected. Then you've done the connect bit of that. And then you move over to the invite part. That's when you invite them to do what you have in mind. And what's important there is that you, sorry, I'm getting slightly distracted because I think my phone is ringing. I think that's my son trying to connect with me, but I'm going to be a bad mum and not pick up. So hopefully you can't hear it and I shall ignore it. So what was I saying? So yeah, you invite them to the next step. And it's important to try and keep the we there at that point. So not just, as I was saying before, like, right now it's time to, because that breaks everything that you've created, right? You can hear that. Instead, shall we go to the bathroom together and see if we can find your toothbrush? Okay. And your present, the offer of the connection with you is very compelling. Don't underestimate that. And that will make that go better. The next 2 steps offer you some other alternatives if there is still resistance. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about the second way you can connect with your child. And you can use this for the invite part of connect invite. And that is use humor and playfulness. So instead of just, shall we go to the bathroom? You could say something like, shall we walk penguin feet to the bathroom, with their feet on your feet, or shall we hop? Okay, so you can create a bit of interest and fun. Or if you're clearing up the toys, you can say, well, you can clear up, everything that's got wheels, and you can clear everything that's Lego or everything that's wooden or something like that. So you make it more interesting for them. And humor, you can't really use too much humor. And some people just have the gift for it. And if you do, lucky you, because some people are able to just turn situations around. And once you've let go of this lecturing and correcting thing, you can just, if there's like talk back or something like that, you can just turn it around with humor. Like the other day, I had a couple on a call and the mum was saying, yeah, and when I say, it's lunchtime, come into the kitchen, these children like their food. They say, oh, you're ruining my life, mum, and she's like, well, why are they so rude, and so on. So if you were to use humor there, you could say something like, well, can I ruin your life over here, please? And then just, so you don't kind of engage with whether that was an appropriate thing for them to say. You just lift it into the realm of humor and carry on. So there's really no limit to what you can do with humor and playfulness. Well, there probably is a limit, but it's a great thing for you to explore. And the third way that you can connect with your child in the course of the daily routine is particularly suitable if they're getting worked up or if they don't want to do something. So they're resisting what you've said, is to empathize with them. Let's talk about, first of all, what empathy is. Empathy is when you understand and share the feelings of another. You stand with them in whatever they're feeling. You're not trying to fix it, you're not trying to change it. You're not being sympathetic, oh, poor you. You're just really grounded, being with them in whatever they are feeling. And why this helps a lot is because it's very connecting when somebody is just with you there with whatever's going on for you. You know, when people say things like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, that sounds really tough, or, you know, goodness, that must have taken a lot of patience. Those kind of comments, that it's very connecting, and it helps children feel as if you're listening deeply to them and you understand them. And therefore it brings down the heat. It stops things escalating, because often children get upset and excited because they feel they don't have a voice. They feel we haven't understood them. So they have to kind of say it louder and louder and louder and louder. But if we empathize, they go, oh, mom gets me. Oh, dad gets me. Ah, I've still got the problem maybe, but at least mom understands. And that really de-escalates things, and it can become almost like an alternative fuel to run your family, because whatever is happening for your child, whatever they're saying or feeling, you can always empathize. Doesn't mean you're going to give them that biscuit that they're, or ice cream that they're clamoring for, but you can say, oh, are you trying to tell me you really, really want another one? Okay. And this helps. So the way you can use this is by using phrases like, are you trying to tell me? Or are you trying to tell me you wish I didn't always have to go and change the baby's nappy? Or are you trying to tell me you wish I didn't always have to go to work? Or are you trying to tell me you're feeling a bit, if they say they don't want to go to school, are you trying to tell me you're feeling a bit unsure about that new teacher, or something like that? Phrases like that help a lot. And after you've empathized, your child will be more able to listen to what you have to say. And this was one of the things I promised you on this workshop, is to help you with bringing your child to listen. Basically, if your child isn't really listening as much as you'd like them to, it's because they're not feeling listened to as much as they would like to be listened to. You may feel you're listening to them all day long, but with empathy, you can offer a deeper kind of listening that helps children feel like they're really being listened to. And coupled with not lecturing anymore, it's very powerful. And they are then much more reasonable. Children can be incredibly reasonable when they feel understood and we understand them. Incredibly reasonable. And I'm just going to give you an example, a lovely example with a mum who I was working with, and yeah, her two daughters, 7 and 9, can't remember which one it was, but they have a thing that after they've had the bath, they then go to the bedroom to get dressed, okay, dressed for bed. And they know that that's what happens. And on this occasion, after the bath, one of her daughters started running downstairs again, and she was about to go into that lecturing thing of, why are you going downstairs? You know, it's time to go into your bedroom, get your pajamas on, that kind of thing, right? But the sort of stuff we just do. And she looked over the banister, she saw her daughter going downstairs, and then she suddenly remembered, oh, she didn't have a particularly good night with daddy. Something had gone a little bit awry. I wonder if that's why she's going downstairs. So instead of saying what she thought of first of saying, she said, did you want to go and have a proper good night with daddy? And this daughter burst into tears and ran across to daddy, gave him a big hug. There was a proper good night. And then she went to her room, got dressed like a dream. So there wasn't any need to do all the correcting or anything, because once she'd felt heard and understood, then, you know, she went and did what she was meant to do anyway. And there's another example, which is of a 4-year-old who had been quite kind of rough with his 1-year-old sibling, and doing the things we don't want 4-year-olds to be doing to their 1-year-old siblings, you know, pinching, pushing, and all that kind of stuff. And so there'd been a lot of correcting going on, but it had carried on. That's the thing with correcting, it just doesn't really work. And so instead, this mum sat down with her 4-year-old one day when the baby was having a nap, and said to him, I've been thinking, and I've just been wondering if you sometimes miss the times that we had together before the baby was born, and if you sometimes wish I didn't have to spend so much time with her, and if you sometimes miss me. And you know what this 4-year-old said? He was very quiet, and then he said, say that again, say that again. So he's just hungry to be understood. And this conversation helped to settle the behavior. So it's powerful stuff.